Well, good afternoon, Waxahachie. I'm Andrew Branca, reporter and movie critic for the Waxahachie Sun. We're going to do something a little bit different today in the corner. Last week, I had the opportunity to attend a really unique event here in town called the Crossroads of Texas Film Festival, and I had the opportunity to watch and listen to people involved in film, and it was actually hosted by former Channel 8 movie critic Gary Cogill, and it was fantastic. It was neat to hear their insights on the people of Texas working behind the scenes of some of the great films, and just some of the stories they had to share. Let me show you this clip from the roundtable discussion. And
there's always 6 old men in any cafe in Texas, and no telling how long they've been there, hours, because they've got nothing else to do but tell stories. And I was amazed because you knew they were all lies that they were telling, and they all told them and changed them or repeated them or whatever. Then they got off on telling about a liar that they all knew, and then they started telling about his lies. And I just went, this is great. This can go on another hour. But I was raised in Lubbock, and from the time I was a little kid, we sat out on the front porch every single night and told stories. And then when it got dark, we put pallets out in the front yard, and all the neighbors came, and all the grown-ups would lie out on these pallets and watch for flying saucers and tell scary stories. Kids would run and play hide and go seek all over town. Nobody cared about us, we could do anything we wanted. But I remember being so fascinated by the stories, and just hearing those stories all the time. It was just like, it's Texas. It's totally Texas, I think, more than any place else I've ever been.
The one thing that intrigued me about her job was, as a script supervisor, she was responsible for the continuity of the film, where she had to keep track of specific details, like the style of clothing people were wearing, where the light was shining in a scene, how which certain people were in the background, where a person was holding an object, or in what hand were they holding an object, like a book or something. And I thought that was really intuitive that they have a person like this that handles this aspect of the production. And I'll let Anne Rapp tell you a little bit more about what she has done on some of the larger productions here. So here's a clip from the Crossroads of Texas Film Festival.
3 of the first films that I've done, which you mentioned it, I find it interesting you mentioned it at the end when you introduced me. I started out with Tender Mercies, Spinal Tap, and Local Hero.
Yes.
And there are no 3 any other films that I'm more proud of than those 3. And the Scottish director Bill Forsyth, who did Local Hero, I don't know how many of you guys have seen the film Local Hero, but if you haven't, do yourself a favor. Yeah. It's delightful.
Burt Lancaster.
Yeah, Burt Lancaster and Peter Riegert. Yep. I got to go to Scotland on it, and but we started the film in Houston, right. And for the first week or 10 days, this Scottish director had such a strong Scottish accent, and I had such a strong Texas accent. We were speaking foreign language to each other, and we literally had to have a translator. Somebody on the crew who was English would stand there and tell me what he was saying, and tell him what I was saying, until we got used to each other's accent, and that was lovely. But Bruce Beresford, who directed, he was another lovely Australian director. I started with him on Tender Mercies. Yeah. And Tender Mercies, that once I had that on my resume, I was off and running. And then I did Crimes of the Heart, and then another film with him called Last Dance. And that was special too. But probably one of the most special director relationships I had was Robert Benton. I did a number of movies with him, and he was Places in the Heart here, and which we're going to see tomorrow. And I have to say, he's one of the most lovely human beings I've ever known in my life, and to this day. And I was the most fortunate script supervisor ever, that I would have these relationships that just kept lasting with directors. And I had 3 films with David Mamet. I had a couple with Sidney Pollack, and then he ended up giving me a writing gig at one point. And so that you're very right about that the script supervisor-director relationship. I don't know if it's the same now that they make all films digital, and it's so different now, and that job position is even different now. But man, back in my day, you were the girl Friday, and that relationship was crucial but amazing.
One of the other panels that I really enjoyed from the festival was Robert Knott. Robert Knott told the audience about his experience of working with Ed Harris and the movie Pollock, and some of the behind the scenes moments that were just really provided a idea about Ed Harris and what he put into his character of this artist Pollock. And it was just fascinating just to hear him speak about this and talk about his friend and co-worker. And he also talked about when they went to the Oscars and how he didn't win, and how it was being on the kind of the outside looking in at the Oscars, seeing everybody else the congratulation party with the governor, except for them. And that was kind of an interesting tidbit there. So I'm going to let you guys listen to another clip here from the Crossroads of Texas Film Festival with Robert Knott talking about his experience here in film.
The art world was something that was a big part of my life as a young man. I always thought that I would be a visual artist, and Pollock was a character that I never completely understood. And then when Ed committed to do it, Ed and I were good friends, Ed Harris, and I told him, I said at the time, I said, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Because that guy was pretty unstable. And I said, to do this is gonna probably feel that way. And it was. And talk about something like, when you really get into a character and play a character that comes from that kind of tormented history, it permeated into the filmmaking process. And I don't know how many people remember that movie, but there's scenes where this man, Pollock, was so insecure and yet at the same time so sure of what he was doing. And Ed put that into the material and was able to make that happen in the script so completely that it was kind of a scary set. It really was. It was. Those scenes were full of that scene full of tension were full of tension because Ed was incredibly immersed in that character. And I remember there was one sequence where I'm carrying Ed after a bar fight up these flight of stairs. And I'm not a big guy, and he's a little bit bigger than me, but I'm carrying him up five flights of stairs about 5 times. And when I get up to the top, we fall, and we have this scene where he's unsure about his artistry, and I'm his loving brother who's caring for him and caring for his artistry. And when Ed starts crying in this sequence, and at the same time I'm laughing, and at the same time he's also crying, you realize that, wow, this is life. This is real life. You know, there's not a lot of acting going on here, especially because I was hauling his ass up the steps for five flights over and over again. And afterwards, you know, it was interesting because ultimately, if you watch that film, and I highly recommend everyone who hasn't seen it, maybe you've seen it, watch it again, but it really delves into what it means and the complexity of being, what we're talking about here is being an artist. It doesn't get any deeper than that. It's somebody that really believes in their passion, and now you walk in to the Met and you see one of these Pollock paintings, and so many people probably can't really determine what they're looking at, but you know that it's powerful.
Well, if you guys didn't get the chance to go out to the festival, I want to highly encourage you to come out next year. I'm sure it's going to be even more spectacular. It was just really a treat to get to go and hear these stories from these men and women in film, and you know, who are more than just actors. You know, you think of the people behind. You don't think of the people behind the camera or behind the scenes. You always look at the guys, you know, the director or the leading man or lady in front of the camera, but you never think of these individuals such as the writer or as, you know, a script supervisor, or you know, even the guys that are working to do the cinematography. And you know, that's a shame that we don't give those individuals enough credit for what they do. So, you know, I want to encourage you guys, if you guys have some time next year, to come out to Waxahachie, take part in this festival, and it's really well produced and well put together. So, well, that's going to wrap up this week's edition of the Critics Corner. If you guys have any suggestions of what you want me to review at the theater, what movies that you are interested in, or if you guys have questions or comments, please shoot me an email at andrew@waxahachiesun.com, and we'll be glad to get that in the corner and get those questions answered. Y'all have a great day now, and see you at the theaters.